What's up, guys? It is Sunday, so we're going to jump back on the CD collection. We're on part 91, still in the L section. I'm just going to jump right into this. First up, we have Lavaborn with Black Winged Gods. This was released in 2021 on Wise Blood Records, band out of Indianapolis, Indiana. This is a pretty interesting release. They're able to kind of fuse like this traditional heavy metal. They have some power metal vibes musically going on, and they kind of interject that in with some doom metal elements. It's pretty interesting stuff. It got slept on quite a bit when it came out, but I found this to be a pretty solid release, and I definitely dig that one. Next up, we have some black and death metal. This came out, I think, around 2016-ish. This is Leagues Below with their self-titled. This is hand numbered out of 100 copies. This is number 92 out of 100. Was released on Necrotic Records. Pretty decent album here. I think it's the only full length that this band ever put out. I'm not sure if they're still together now or not, but this one's pretty good. I had a buddy send me this, and I really did. I did enjoy that one. Next up, we have some Leaves' Eyes. This is their debut full length entitled Lovelorn. Symphonic metal, gothy symphonic metal. I really like the earlier albums from this band. This is probably my favorite release. It was the one that I heard initially. It's the one that I got into first from the band, so that kind of plays a role in it being my favorite. I love the albums that Liv was a part of. She was a part of the band, I think, all the way up till 2016, and this one came out early, maybe 2000, sounds about right. I don't see a date on it, but it had to be right around my high school years when this one came out. Killer stuff there. If you're into gothy, symphonic sounding stuff, you would probably like it. Like this. The title track on this one I really enjoy. There's a few tracks on this one that I like. For some reason, I don't know if it's just nostalgia's sake or what, but that's my favorite. I'm kind of in the minority of people saying that what their favorite album is from Leaves' Eyes, but that one is definitely my favorite. I like the follow-up to that as well. This one is entitled Vinland Saga. This band actually toured with Typo Negative in one tour, and I would have really enjoyed seeing that tour. When I saw the two times that I was fortunate enough to see Typo, they were touring with bands that it seemed kind of odd that they were touring with. They didn't really fit the bill as far as bands that were very similar, or I know it's kind of hard to have similar, but bands that were just kind of in that same vein. And I think seeing Leaves' Eyes with Typo would be one heck of an experience. So I am a little saddened that I wasn't able to check that tour out. This one came out in 2005 on Napalm Records. Then I have the 2009 release entitled Njord. This one, it was actually really solid as well. Definitely dug this one quite a bit. It's probably my second favorite. I don't know. This and Vinland Saga are probably tied as I just say that Lovelorn is my favorite, and I'll leave it at that. I don't really like ranking the albums too much, but this is a really strong release as well. And then I have the last album. I think this is the last album that Liv was a part of. This one is King of Kings. Haven't spent a ton of time with this one, unfortunately. This came out in 2015. She departed the band, I think, in 2016. And very unfortunate. I haven't really gotten into any of the stuff afterwards, but that early Leaves' Eyes material is just kind of what ropes me in. I definitely want to spend some more time with this King of Kings release. I think I bought this off of eBay or something along those lines used, and I just haven't really spent the time with it that I need to. Next up, we have some Death Grind. This is Left for Dead with Exit Humanity. Solid stuff here. I believe this band is out of Germany. I don't think they're together anymore, unfortunately. But this was a pretty solid, I think it's the only full length that they ever put out, but it is a solid slab of Death Grind. It was released through Severed Records, and I may have got this in that big Severed Records grab bag that I did. I'm not really sure. I can't remember, but regardless, it is a good slab of Death Grind. Next up, we have Legacy of Emptiness with Over the Past. I believe this band is out of Norway. This is symphonic black metal. Has some hints of atmospheric black metal in it as well. I believe this came out around 2017. That's when Black Line Records was really coming into being. I remember this being a very strong release. They came out, Black Line Records was around before 2017, but this is where I felt like they really started hitting their stride, really started putting out a ton of quality material, and this Legacy of Emptiness album was absolutely phenomenal. Next up, we have some downbeat deathcore. This is, I guess it's more hardcore as opposed to deathcore sounding, but this is Legion to Kill with Betrayal of the Fallen. Pretty decent. I have no idea where I got this. I don't remember when I picked this up or how long that I've had it. I know it's just been in the collection for a bit. It's pretty decent. I do enjoy it. Not what's going to be an everyday pull off the shelf and listen to, but for what it is a pretty strong release. So that's Legion to Kill. Next up, we have a band out of Armenia, I believe. Armenia. I could be wrong, but I think that's where this band hails from. This is Layla Hell with their debut EP entitled Al Intihar. Yeah, I probably butchered that. This is some death metal. This was also released on Severed Records. Not really brutal death metal. It brings in aspects of, straightforward death metal. There's some melodic death metal hints. They do get, like some little brutal hints going on here and there. But it's pretty good. I mean, it's decent death metal. They're not reinventing the wheel by any shape or form, but it is a decent listen for what it is. And then I have a release of theirs that I got in a Horror, Pain, Gore, Death grab bag. This is Layla Hell with Al Insane, the rebirth of Abdur Hamain. Yeah, I butchered that one as well, but just more of that kind of straightforward death metal sound. And it's all stuff on here. I mean, they do have some good riffing at times throughout the album, but the majority of this, it just feels like ideas that you've already heard before somewhere. They perform it solid. It's just nothing new. But as far as death metal goes, it is a solid release. It's just nothing that really just stood out to me. Next up, I have one that's still in the wrapper. I will probably break this down and just take the case from it, because just reading the hype sticker on this is enough for me to know that I probably will hate this and will never listen to it. This came in a Bridge 9 Records grab bag that I did a while ago, and I got a lot of hardcore out of there, and I have no idea what this is even doing in there. I'm not sure what they were thinking, but this is all right. I'm just going to read this hype sticker and you will understand why. The name of this band is Lemuria, and the name of the album is Pebble, but the hype sticker says, with some of the sweetest girl-boy dueling vocals, Lemuria's Pebble is full of catchy choruses and is perfect for fans of the Get Up Kids, Superchunk, and Tegan and Sarah. That sounds absolutely horrible to me, so it's never even come out of the plastic. It probably will never come out of the plastic until I break it down and steal that case from it. Next up, we have some grindcore. This I got in a Willow Tip Records grab bag. This is Lingchi with Man-Made Predator. Solid slab of grindcore here. I definitely wouldn't mind picking up some more material from this band, just because I did enjoy this release. And I haven't done any more Willow Tip grab bags because it just felt like all the same releases every time you purchase one of those grab bags. So if anyone has picked one up lately and got something different than the Circle of Dead Children, Lingchi, Afgrund, and all of those albums, let me know. Maybe at some point I'll pick up another one, but I just quit trying them because it was just the same stuff over and over. Next up, we have some sludge. This is Lento with Anxiety, Despair, Languish. I believe this band is out of Italy. This is very sludgy stuff, atmospheric style sludge. Solid material. I've never denied my love for sludge metal. You guys know that just with the being from here in Tennessee and being down in the South, that love for sludge is just kind of ingrained in me, and I absolutely love this release. It's very different from a lot of stuff that I hear. I love the artwork on this, and it's just some killer stuff. Next up, we have some progressive metal, and I don't really show a ton of progressive. This is Leprous with The Congregation. This album really stuck out to me when I first heard it. Came out in 2015. Man, I can't believe it's been out that long. I heard this pretty early on with me getting into YouTube, and I was kind of opposed to checking it out with it just being prog metal, but I really dug this. I like their tendency to it's a very minimalist feel of progressiveness. They don't go over the top. They're not just being progressive for the sake of being progressive. The vocals on this are absolutely astounding, and it is a very solid release. At some point I may check out some more from Leprous. I've kind of just neglected listening to them as the channel's grown and I've moved on. I'm constantly being bombarded with people telling me to check out new music and stuff, so that's just one that I haven't kept up with. Next up, I have a compilation from a label called Les Atures de l'Ombre Productions. I'm assuming this label is out of France. Don't really remember a whole lot about this sampler. It came out in 2019. As far as I remember, I think it's a lot of black metal releases. I'm not going to try to read off all of the bands on this because most of it's not in English, and I would probably butcher that. Next up, this one is a very interesting release. This is a project called La Chance du Lazard. The name of the release is entitled Livre Troisième. This is kind of neoclassical. It has like a black metal feel going on at times, but it is a very restrained, pulled back style of influence from black metal going on this. It's very interesting. I got this on Bandcamp. I think I got it on a Bandcamp Friday or something one day. I just saw it on there. It kind of intrigued me. I listened to a little bit of it, and I did like what I heard, so I went ahead and pulled the plug and purchased it. And it's pretty good. It's good music to put on, like mood style music. I can put it on while I'm doing something, like doing some work or something up here in the man cave or in the house, and it's something that I can play in the background, and it's not overbearing and just super aggressive and distracting from what I'm from the task that I'm working on. Next up, we have Les Discrets or Les Discrets. I'm not sure how you pronounce this. With September yeah, it's not in English. You guys will know it from the album cover. I actually purchased this used, and they put the the used sticker there on the back of the digipack. I tried pulling it off, and it was pulling off some of the artwork, so I ended up just leaving it. A pretty decent release. At some point, I would like to pick up a little bit more from this project, but this is some more of that kind of moody style music. Next up, we have some atmospheric black metal out of India. This is Lasath with Sacred Ashes. This was the debut full length from Lasath, and I really liked this one. It came out, I think, in 2020, and in the 3 years following this full length's release, they've released 4 more full lengths. This is the only one that I picked up. This one, for me, is kind of leaps and bounds above some of the other material. There's good stuff on those other albums, but I think they could have combined that down to 1 or 2 albums with some of the ideas that they kind of rushed out. I think it's a one-person project that he kind of rushed out. For sometimes quality is better than quantity, but I do love this very first album, and that's one I definitely will hang on to. Next up, we have some more sludge out of, I believe this is out of Seattle, Washington. This is Lesbian with I think their sophomore full length. It is my favorite from them. It's the only one that I own. This is Forest Television. It's very sludgy. just slowed down, stonery at times, doomy. Good stuff. I love the artwork on that as well. You might think you're getting into some black metal or something super atmospheric. It does have those atmospheres kind of draped into that sludginess, but the artwork kind of paints one picture, and then the music paints another picture. Next up, we have some more sludgy doom. This is there went a loud truck. We'll let that roll by. This is Let the Night Roar with their self-titled. This one's been out for a while. I got this one in a trade. Pretty decent. I mean, it's not the best slab of doom that I've ever heard. This is another one that this one is a half-price books. They were guilty of throwing the receipt, the barcode on top, the sticker just straight on the digipack. I hate that. And it has a hole punch through the actual digipack. But musically, it's not bad. Has that sludginess, that stonery, a little bit cleaner than that Lesbian album that I just showed. This one has a little bit cleaner sound to it. Next up, we have some Brutal Death. This is an album released through Gorehouse Productions. This is Let 'em a Census with Wasteland Chronicles. If you looked at that, that does not scream brutal death metal to me when I see that artwork. Luckily, I knew that this was on Gorehouse Productions, so I kind of had an idea of what I was getting into. But it is a strong piece of brutal death. I think this is their second full length, and I found this one to be quite enjoyable. I'm pretty sure I got this in a grab mystery box from Gorehouse at some point along the way. Next up, we have some death metal out of Spain. This is some kind of occult-themed death metal. This is the only release that this band put out under this moniker. I believe they changed their name to Ouija at some point. Actually, they were Ouija before they released this, and then they went back. So I'm not sure what the idea was between the name change. This was originally released in 1994. This is probably a reissue that was done through Severed Records. This is Leviel with a Possession of a Divine Soul. This is, I think, a 5-track, 7-track demo EP, and then they have some bonus tracks that they threw on this. Pretty good. I like this. It's kind of been met with mixed reviews over the years, but I did find this to be very enjoyable. Kind of that has that 90s death metal feel going on as it is from the 90s. So next up, we have some death metal out of Finland. Both of these were released through Dark Descent Records. This is Lie in Ruins with their sophomore full length entitled Towards Divine Death. Pretty good. They have this like atmosphere, cavernous, I guess, atmosphere going on throughout the two albums of theirs that I own. I do own their second and third. This one's pretty good. I think I like the follow-up to this a little bit better. I have not heard the debut full length, so at some point I will need to check that one out. This is their third full length. I think it's their newest full length as well. This one is Lie in Ruins, obviously, with Floating in Timeless Streams. And this one definitely, you can just feel those atmospheres bleeding through in the music and the production. It has that murky, cavernous production going on this, and that I just love. Just that chunky death metal feel, and it definitely, you can just feel the Finnish regionality kind of bleeding through in the music in this as well. Next up, we have a Russian bootleg. This is Liege Lord with Burn to My Touch. This is some 80s speed metal. This was, I think, the second of their 3 full lengths, and this one's pretty good. It's kind of got it definitely has that dated production feel going on. I don't know if there's a sound issue with this being a bootleg. I will say that they're getting like incredibly good at bootlegging these discs and making them look like the real thing. The liner notes being in pristine condition and this being released in '86 was kind of the the giveaway for me that I had purchased a bootleg. I think I got this for a few dollars when I purchased it, so I didn't have high hopes with it being an original to begin with, just because the originals from these albums are super hard to get a hold of. So I kind of knew what I was in for when I ordered it, so I wasn't super disappointed with that being a bootleg. Next up, with my love for Type O Negative, this is a band that a lot of times just kind of goes hand in hand with Type O Negative. This is Life of Agony with their debut full length entitled River Runs Red. Absolutely love this. The sludgy sound is on this particular release. They kind of like crossover thrash, hardcore, sludginess, and they blend that in with like this alternative rock. As the band continued on, they kind of leaned much more into that alternative rock style than this. But this first full length, I love this entire album. I mean, there's so many good songs on this, and it just makes me want to go, hooah! And if you've heard it, you understand. I love me some Life of Agony, and I have all of their albums except for Broken Valley. I don't know why I don't have that one. I thought I did. It's not a big deal. I can get on eBay. I think it's like $7. I have their second full length here. This is Ugly. This is another very solid release. Those are my two favorite. The first two are like kind of essential albums for me. I feel like everyone should have Ugly and River Runs Red. If you don't pick up anything else from them, I would definitely advise you to at least own the very first two. Then I have Soul Searching Sun. This is definitely when they were a much lighter sound. This is kind of like embracing that alternative rock sound. This is one that turned off a lot of people from the band, I think. This still has the little security tag thing there on the back, so nobody would steal it. So that's another kind of sign of the times. You don't really see stuff like that on CDs anywhere anymore, because most people wouldn't even steal a CD. And then we have their Unplugged at the Lowlands Festival, kind of a live album. Has some acoustic stuff on here, has some bonus tracks, some remix stuff, some live tracks, all that good stuff on here. Big old pot leaf there on the back. And as I said, I don't own Broken Valley. I have this compilation, The Best of Life of Agony. This is one that I'll bring with me in the car a lot. That's one good thing about best of albums. I know a lot of people, including myself, aren't always the biggest fans of the best of compilations. But this one, I got this at Hastings. I got it really cheap, and for me, I like it just because I don't have to worry about it getting too messed up in the car. I wouldn't want to mess up one of my full-length albums, so it's good to have those compilations for stuff like that if you're going to listen to CDs in the car still. I know most people don't even listen to them in the car anymore, but I'm very old school in that effect that I do that. And then I have the two newest full lengths. This is a Place Where There's No More Pain. I really like this one. This is another one that was met with some mixed reviews, but I don't think it got a whole lot of playtime. But I found this one to be very enjoyable. Was kind of on the fence about ordering it when I did, but I'm glad that I went ahead and pulled the trigger and got it. Very enjoyable release for me. And then I have their newest entitled The Sound of Scars. This one just, I don't know, I've tried, I'll pull it off the shelf every once in a while and try to make myself, it came out in 2019, I've probably listened to it maybe 10 times since then, since it's come out, and every so often I'll pull it off the shelf and it's not horrible, but it just hasn't really resonated with me the way that I'd hoped it would, especially after hearing Place Where There's No More Pain. I thought I was very excited for this one to come out, but it just didn't. It just hasn't done it for me the way I expected it to. So that's all for this section of the CD collection. I'll be back next Sunday, and we will continue on. Hopefully we will be in the M's before too long. So that's all for today. I hope you guys have a great week. I will probably try my best to get a CD or just a general collection update video at some point this week. I've been to a few shows and stuff. I'm going to one tomorrow, and I have just stuff piled up everywhere. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get another video out before the end of this week. But that's all I've got for today. Stay classy, stay metal, and I will see you guys soon. I promise.